Welcome back, everybody, to the Deadlight Society. I am Adam.
And I'm Michael.
You took a long pause there, buddy.
Yeah, because your screech that you just did, like, killed my ear. No.
That's what I'm
It literally, like, cut out. On my end, it literally just cut out. Like, it went so high that I couldn't even fucking hear it. I was processing what you just did. But yes,
today,
we are back.
Today, Michael loves fishing now, so today we're going to talk about The Shape of Water and how to fuck fish.
Shut the fuck up.
Today,
that's not what these people are here for.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Abigail.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We got spooky vampires, spooky castles, and just a good movie.
Yes. So obviously this movie came out a little bit ago. I think it was released in April of this year. Definitely one that I wanted to check out. I actually really wanted to go see it in theaters, but just didn't have a chance. Just kind of a bunch of stuff going on. And I didn't get to go see it in theaters, but I just watched it for the first time the other week and immediately was like, Adam, we're doing this movie. We're going to review this movie for the people because like they need to know that they need to go watch it. And although not necessarily like I've read a lot of reviews from people as well, and I do have some it's going to be like a new segment in here that I have at the end where I'm going to read some positive reviews and I'm going to read some negative reviews just so that we also have like, obviously you hear our opinions of what we think, but I'd also like to have some like opposites. I mean, kind of almost poke fun at them as well.
I didn't know you were doing this. This gives me the chance to fight. I love it.
Yes, so I think it's going to be a nice little segment. We're going to save that towards the end of the second half of the episode, so that spoilers ahead. So as we know, the first half of the episode, you kind of have like a almost spoiler-free review, and then we give you the trailer, and then we're going to go into our spoilers. So you'll get that in the second half of the episode. But to continue with the spoiler-free review, for those of you who don't know what this movie is about, the little Google synopsis has... it's after a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. So, and I'm going to get right into a gripe that I have. If you haven't watched the movie and you're unaware of the movie, don't watch any trailers. Go into this movie blind, because if you watch the trailers and you really like, it almost spoils what they're trying to do. Or at least that's how I gathered. Like, they almost try to set it up as like a whodunit. But if you watch the trailers, like, it's very obvious right away. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, I don't want to give too much away just yet, so I guess we'll save that for the second.
I was going to say, you're going to have to explain it when there's context, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, I don't want to give too much context, but, like, I just feel like I would have, like, enjoyed this much better if I didn't know right away, like, what was going to happen. Like, you're just able to guess right away based on the trailer. It's basically what I'm trying to say. That was also another comment that I wrote, or that I read from somebody, that they wish that, like, they would have been able to go into it blind, that they would have appreciated it a lot more. I mean, I still love the movie. I'm not giving it, like, a negative review just because of that. I would have loved to have known nothing about the movie, just put it on blindly, and just watched it from there. Like, I would have loved to have that experience with it, but unfortunately the trailers kind of gave away like the premise. So
I did have that experience with it because I didn't see like any of the trailers or anything. That's why I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because like I just didn't see anything.
Lucky for you. But yeah, no, if you watch like, you kind of, I knew right away. Like, you just know right away if you watch the trailers. And like,
guess
you have
it too.
You can. Absolutely. I feel like any horror movie anymore, you can almost guess where the direction is going. I don't think there's been one recently that I've watched where I was like genuinely surprised. So there's that. But like I said, I'm not picking it apart. I like the movie. I'm not saying that. I feel like I wish that I would have gotten it from your perspective, where like I went into it not knowing anything about it, because I think I would have liked it even more than I already do.
Like, the only thing I knew about it going in was like vampire. I didn't know anything else.
Yeah, which that's great. If that's all you know going into this, it's a vampire movie. It's got a lot of blood and gore, and you got some horror comedy into it. Just go into it with that, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you, because it's a good movie. Yeah, the director for this, we have Matt and Tyler back from Radio Silence, who also directed Ready or Not. And I've seen some commenters say that this is basically Ready or Not on steroids, which I've never watched Ready or Not, so I really can't comment on that. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, we literally did it for the fucking podcast.
No, we did not. Ready or Not?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of fucking the Christmas one. What's the Christmas one?
Oh, Better Watch Out?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that one. No, I know what you're talking about.
No. Ready or Not, I forget her name. Samara Weaving or something
Samara
like that.
Weaving,
She's in that. Yeah, there you go. She's in that one. I haven't watched that though, but people are saying and comparing that it's kind of like that, just on steroids, more blood, more gore, and stuff like that. Which it's again, it's the same directors. Yeah, that's this is Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch, and I want to watch Radio Silence. Yep, I want to watch Ready or Not now, just because they're saying that. So I'm kind of curious as to like really what that is like. But this is also Melissa Barrera's first movie outside of the Scream movies with them. So I thought that was nice that she's kind of like not following them, but like she's obviously out of Scream now, and Radio Silence is also not directing the next Scream movie. So I'm glad to see that they're on her side at the very least. I do appreciate that as well.
Yeah, that was cool seeing. I completely forgot that Radio Silence did the other Scream movie too.
Yeah, yes, they did a good job with this movie. I really enjoyed it. I think I almost enjoyed this more than the Scream remakes that they did, to be honest. But I liked them as well. I don't know. There was something about I liked this movie a lot. It was really good. What would you give this though? Fair or flop? I know we normally do fair or flop in like the second half somewhere, but what would you give it? Fair or flop?
Definitely a fear.
Okay, fear what?
Oh yeah, I forgot we have a number system now. I got fear 8. It's been a while. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's been a minute. I guess I'll give you that. I forgive you. Yeah, no, I give it like a 9.5. I really did like it. Like I said, I have one plot hole too that I'll discuss second half of the episode that I'm kind of like not necessarily bothered by, but I'm curious if it's a plot hole or if it's something leading up to like a possible sequel or like what. Could be that. But if not, it's definitely a plot hole, and I want to discuss it a little bit in a little bit here. But is there anything else that you want to say pre-spoilers? Or even anything horror related at all, like any horror news or anything that you want to discuss? It's been a minute since we've talked to the
paying attention to horror news at all, so no.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess the only one that I have is that Bill Skarsgård is going to come back as Pennywise in the Welcome to Derry series that they're making still, and I am stoked because originally it wasn't going to be him. I don't know if they just maybe didn't talk to him yet, but like when it was first announced that they were doing a Welcome to Derry series on HBO Max, they were saying that he wasn't going to come back for it, and I was very distraught.
I feel like he's just always willing to play Pennywise, though. Like, that's kind of his character now.
I mean, it should be his. Yes, it should be his now. I mean, obviously, Tim Curry's, I don't think, going to play the role ever again.
Tim Curry is in a wheelchair, and his face is melting from a stroke. He's not going to come back.
I don't think he's going to be Pennywise. I don't think he's going to be Pennywise anymore. I was trying to say it a little nicer.
No, you have to be honest. He's never coming back to acting again. It's impossible for him.
Yeah. So so yeah, I think this is gonna be his from now on. I hope anyway. I can't really picture anybody else playing him, but I'm very excited to hear that he is going to be reprising his role as Pennywise. So I'm very excited for that. I think that's all that I have. Though there's other stuff that I've heard, but that's like the main one that I was the most excited for. Was that? So. But if you don't have anything else, I guess we'll cut. We'll give you your trailer, and then warning because there's going to be spoilers ahead about scenes in the movies, trivia in the movies, other commenters and critics, and then the plot hole thing that I want to talk about as well. So
let's get to the trailer. Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, happy Pride Month.
Please let me out. I'm scared.
Cut the shit. You're really good at pretending to be a little girl.
Thank you.
Quick question. Who's inside a cage right now? What do we know about vampires? How do we kill it?
Crucifixes.
Stake through the heart. Daylight is a big one. We need to find a way out of here. We split up. This is just a game to her.
What can I say? I like playing with my family.
Hello?
How'd you enjoy that trailer, Michael?
I loved it. I definitely just watched it right now, and it was a great trailer. I loved it.
I still didn't see the trailer. I'm editing it in later. I'll watch it then. I'll probably enjoy it.
You probably will. You probably will. All right, so welcome back. Second half of the episode. Again, spoilers are ahead. If you have not watched it, please go watch it. I do really recommend it. If you don't care for spoilers, well, then we're going to get right into it. But first, who's your favorite character in this? I'd like to know.
Who's the muscly dude? I forget his name.
Peter?
Peter, yeah. Peter.
You like Peter? Okay.
I do.
I like Peter too. I liked the almost duo of Peter and Sammy because between the both of them, they both shared one single brain cell,
I was
and I
gonna
loved
say
it.
they shared like 2 brain cells the entire movie.
I loved it. I loved the duo there. That was a great pairing. I really love anything that what's her name? Catherine
Newton.
Catherine Newton. There you go. I love anything that she's in. I feel like she's been a really great actress. Definitely, I wouldn't say up and coming, but kind of almost. Like I feel like the last
she's
few
kind
years
of like
is really where she
cemented
started
her
to get
place.
into stuff.
Yeah, like she's cemented her place in horror now, and that's what I like.
Absolutely. And just quick little trivia on her. Did you know that she's a professional golfer?
I think I did. And I
Yeah, no, I just found that out the other day.
said it, because I totally pictured it immediately.
Yeah, I was looking up some of the trivias and stuff, and just looking at some of the cast, and I clicked on hers, and it said professional golfer, and I was like, "What the fuck? What?" Was definitely not seeing that, but I mean, good for her. I mean, I'd love to see. I don't know anything about that world, but hey, she's a professional golfer and a pretty good actress. I mean, awesome. But as for me, like favorite character, I like the main cast. Like I did enjoy all of them, other than Frank. I really didn't like Frank; he was a dickhead. But I think for me, like in terms of acting and just Abigail really fucking blew this away for me. Like just her acting in this movie and like how she was able to switch from being this innocent little girl and like, oh no, like don't kidnap me, don't hurt me, like, my dad will give you whatever, like, or actually she tried to say that he wouldn't because he didn't love her or whatever, but like just this innocent little girl. And then when they're all in the scene, like arguing about like what they're gonna do and how to get out, and she's just like she slips her hands through the fucking finger cuffs, and Sammy's just like, guys. She's the only one seeing it, and just the switch from that into her like showing that she's a fucking vampire was like so dope. Like, I don't know, she's such a good actress.
I love the twist where it's like, oh, it's all her dad's enemies, and like she's actually trying to like get her dad to love him or love her and shit.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so that was good. That was a good. I guess that's. They're trying to like say who is. Like, they're trying to figure out who is this like hitman for her father, because her father's like some, like mob boss, like Christophe Lazar. Like that just sounds like a fucking mob boss name. And
I want to see the adventures of Christophe Lazar now.
I would love to actually see like a prequel movie. Yeah, because he's obviously some.
Dude, a fucking vampire mafia movie would be dope as shit with that.
I mean, that could be where they're going. I don't know. We'll see. They might have something under their sleeve.
The Godfather with fucking
trying to
vampires.
Figure out,
like,
yeah, that would be dope. That would be amazing, to be honest. But they're trying to figure out who this person is, and like they're starting to die kind of one by one. And that's when she finally reveals that, you know, there is no secret hitman that these people talk about. Like, it's her. It's been her the whole time. And like you said, she's just trying to... She kills people that have either wronged her father in some type of way or, like, come in contact with the business and just fucked up in some type of way. And she takes these people into this house. The house gets locked up, and she picks them off one by one. And can I say that pool full of bodies...
That was gross.
I love that scene too. It was disgusting, but I loved it.
It was like viscerally gross. It was like one of those like not scare me, but like it got me mildly uncomfortable and like made me nauseous.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's I wouldn't say that this movie scared me at any point. I really wouldn't say that there was any like jump scares either that I can really recall. Like, I feel like it was more or less creepy. Like, there's scenes where, like, Abigail's hiding and then she kind of just slowly comes into the light of the room. Like, I don't recall a jump scare, but I think I like it so much more because they didn't try to rely on that to creep people out or to scare people. Like, it was just the subtlety of it and, like, the cinematography of, like, just the scenery and everything. Like, it was just a well done movie. I don't know. Like, I just appreciated that a lot.
Oh, so the one thing I wanted to talk about with this movie with you. Aren't you so glad you saw House on Haunted Hill before this?
Yeah, that's true.
This is literally House on Haunted Hill with a fucking vampire.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, people are saying that it's Ready or Not on steroids, but I'd almost say that it's House on Haunted Hill on steroids.
Yeah, this is literally a gory vampire fucking ridden House on Haunted Hill, and it's fucking terrific. That's why I loved it so much, because it like fit my pinnacle of horror movies is like those older horror movies. So like this is perfect for me.
Yeah, but I didn't even think of that. I didn't even put that together, but you're right. I mean, it's literally almost the same exact plot, just a little different, obviously, like subtle differences, but it's funny.
That's why I enjoyed like the twist so much, because like you kind of expect it, like, oh, it's like somebody inside has to be involved.
Yeah.
But like the twist that it was like Abigail setting it up and shit. It's like, it's great. It's still like House on Haunted Hill in that aspect, but damn.
Yeah. No, I didn't think of that. That's a good catch, though. That's true. It does remind me of that now. I'm gonna have to watch it again, just so that I can think of that. You see it
everywhere, like even the imagery and stuff, like her emerging out of the shadows and stuff. That's all imagery from fucking House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, that's what I like that a lot. Like, I like that more than like trying to rely on jump scares to like creep people out or get them scared. Like, I really you just see her creep up in the background, and you see her just come out of the dark. Like, I don't know. Like, that's, to me, that's more creepy than just like panning over and just something jumping in your face. Like, I don't know. Like, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, that pool of bodies. You're right though, because I could just like imagine what that smelled like. And then when Sammy comes out to go help, because then Abigail finds Peter, and he's running down the hallway, and he's like, "Vampire on my ass!"
That's why I love Peter.
It was that scene too was funny because like that happens at the same time that Sammy falls into the pool of bodies, and she calls over the radio because again they split up, which is one of the gripes that I have is that here we go again with the let's split up everybody. Like I fucking hate that. Like I know it's a horror movie, I know they have to do it. Like I understand, but like no, you don't have to do it at the same time. But anyway, they split up. They go looking for Abigail one-on-one because they're idiots. And Sammy falls into this pool of bodies in this one room. And she's screaming on the radio, like, help, like, there's bodies in here. And they're like, oh, how many? Like, like 2, 3? And she's like, no. And she looks and she just screams again. And then you hear Peter scream. And they're like, what? And he's like, I got a splinter.
That was one of my favorite parts. Was a splinter.
He's like, I got a splinter. And then and she's and Joey's character, which is Melissa Barrera, she plays Joey, and she's just like, Peter, I think we're a little bit more concerned with the pool of bodies right now. And then literally that's when Abigail comes out of the shadow, and that's when he runs and he's like, vampire on my ass. That whole I love that. That was one of my favorite scenes as well. It was just funny.
I want to see Radio Silence do a Scooby-Doo movie now. It would be fucking
I'd
perfect
love it.
for it.
Yeah, I'd love it. I think it would be great. I would actually love to see that myself. But I'm trying to think where I was trying to go with that. But anyway, like just the way that like Sammy gets covered in all that goop from all the blood and the guts from all the people in the pool, and she comes out and she just looks at Joey's character and she's like, I'm here. I'm just like, you handled that a lot better than I would have, because there's no way that I would have been moving around. Like, I'm sure that smelled like shit.
That's what I can't imagine even standing near her after that.
No.
Like the smell emanating off of her of like hundreds of rotting bodies.
Yeah.
No.
I think it would have been a nice touch if they would have had like Melissa's character like just wince or something at her. Like she kind of didn't even really acknowledge the smell. Like she just kind of was just like, oh,
that
like,
was one of my
back.
gripes with
like, it. Would have. Yeah, it would have been definitely nice for her to like hold her nose or like something, just like some type of like comedy element would have been nice there as well. But it's okay. It's all right. I forgive them.
We accept them for who they are.
Yes, 100%.
Happy Pride Month.
Pride Month.
Good
bitch. All right. I have a portion on here of memorable quotes, and I already said the vampire on my ass one because I thought that was funny. But the other one that you literally texted me that I was cracking up at, when they're trying to separate, they're trying to find things that can possibly injure Abigail or hurt Abigail, and they're trying to run down like all the vampire, like, oh, like what hurts a vampire, like steaks, garlic, wooden steaks, I should say, not meat steaks, wooden steaks, garlic, sunlight. There's all kinds of just listing stuff. And so she, I think it's Frank. Yeah, Frank sends her to go find garlic in the kitchen, and she goes, she tries to find it. He's giving like a whole nother speech with Joey's character and just like really getting into it. And then Sammy comes back out and she's holding the bag. She's like, I got the garlic. And he's like, Sammy, those are fucking onions.
It's just so perfect.
She's just like, oh, well, I didn't know. I don't cook. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, the one-liners in this and the comedy elements are just so well done. And I think that's what I really appreciated about, like, the newer remade It movies. It was like a perfect touch of comedy. Like, they didn't overdo it. And it was just, like, in this movie, the same thing. I don't feel like it was overdone. I feel like what they put it in, like, it was just perfect. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Some people might feel differently, but I liked it.
This feels like an ensemble cast of like horror actors. Like when you watch it, it's just so everybody plays off of each other so well, and I guarantee that everybody got along behind the scenes on the movie because the chemistry is just so fucking perfect.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was. It was a good cast, and I mean, while we're speaking of cast, I do have a note in here as well that I don't know. Did you watch Euphoria?
I did not know. I can't stand the concept of that show.
I mean, I don't blame you because I also don't really like the concept either. But I watched it, and I am a fan of Angus Cloud, and this was one of his last movies that he was able to film because unfortunately he passed away. Actually, during the filming of this movie, because they had to take that intermittent break because of the strikes that they were all doing, and I think I have it in my notes here specifically dates, but hold on, just because I want to be thorough. But yeah, the first part of filming began May 15th, 2023, but it was suspended in July 14th due to the strikes. And Angus Cloud actually passed away July 31st. But fortunately, he had already shot all his scenes for the movie, so it didn't, cause them to have to recast him or to have to reshoot anything. But it is one of his final movie roles, and I do appreciate that at the end of the movie they have the in memorial of him, where they say "Rest in peace, Angus Cloud," and I thought that was a nice touch, and for them to include that in there.
Speaking of that, I could have sworn, what's, good thing I forget his name.
Who?
Who's like this lead guy? Who's,
Frank?
Not Frank. Like the one who organizes it.
Oh,
Giancarlo Esposito. Him. I thought he died too for some reason.
Oh God, I don't know.
He didn't, but like I could have sworn he fucking
Lambert.
did. It's one of those fucking
Dude, he
like
played Lambert.
yeah. It's one of those fucking what's it called, Mandela effect things that I had. I was like, wait, I just thought he died of like cancer or some shit a while ago, or like a couple years ago.
Well, I guess
he did
not.
not.
Must have been somebody else. No, I don't know who you're thinking of, but
I don't know
no,
either.
not him. Not that guy. Trying to see other favorite scenes. Yeah, my favorite scene from this. I've had a few that I really enjoyed and I really liked, but my favorite scene is when Abigail possessed Sammy with the record player, because I just loved the way that it happened, and then her possessing her and dancing, and then Sammy's dancing the same thing. Like it's literally just a copy. Like, and I don't know. Like I watched that twice back, and I was just like, it's very well done. I love that scene.
And then Blood and Tears by Danzig is just perfection. Perfect soundtrack choice. I approve. Radio Silence, amazing.
Yes, it was a nice touch. Just a really well done scene. And even like as she's dancing in the room, and you have like very little sunlight peeking into the room, like through the boards and stuff on the wall, and you just see like her skin kind of like smoking, because obviously if she goes in the sunlight she's gonna blow up, but you just see like the smoke coming off of her skin while she's dancing in the room, and I'm just like, I'm in awe. Like I'm just staring at my TV and I'm like, wow, like that is just so fucking well done. Like that's a perfect scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
A perfect scene. Like
yeah,
they left nothing.
I have no complaints about
it
at all.
Yeah, like they left nothing out of that. Like it's just like the smoke coming from her body, like, and just the dancing, and like she really did a good job. Like that was a good scene. I really liked that scene. And speaking of like blowing up, when they touch the sunlight, they blow up, these vampires, and that's kind of how they end up killing Sammy shortly after that. But they used blood cannons for this fucking movie, and there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of guts, and so I also appreciate that it's not just like liquid blood that you see everywhere, but it's like you see like the guts and like the goopiness of the like
viscera.
Just a person exploding. Yeah, like you just see You see it, and I just think it was such a nice touch. Like they really dotted their I's and crossed their T's.
God damn it. Yes, if I was an 86-year-old, I would say that.
Well, you're welcome. I got it. I did it for you. But yeah, no, it was just like I said. I feel like everything was just so well done in here that I guess I'll go into my plot hole since I'm saying everything that's so well done. I feel like now I don't know if this is a plot hole or if this is them setting up a potential sequel, but all right, the ending when Lambert turns Frank into a vampire. Okay, he's trying to convince Frank that him and Lambert, because Lambert is also a vampire, that Abigail turned a few years ago because she needed him to help her take these people to this abandoned mansion so that she could hunt them down. And he was involved with Frank in previous missions together, whatever, and also was part of the crew that wronged her father, but she spared him. She just turned him into a vampire, and now he works for her. So at the end, he tries to convince Frank, and Joey's character is also there, but he tries to convince Frank that if he turns him into a vampire, they can take over Abigail, and that her father's on the way because he called him there and said that she was in trouble, and then they can kill him and they can take over this empire and be, the bosses of this underworld. So he agrees. Lambert bites him and makes him drink his blood, and then Frank pukes up all this fucking disgusting blood, which that scene was also a little crazy. But he pukes up all this blood, and then Lambert tells Frank to kill Joey as his first kill, but instead, Frank takes the wooden stake through Lambert and kills Lambert. Okay, Lambert's dead. Frank is still alive. Joey's still alive. Frank is still a vampire. Fast forward, the whole scene goes down with Frank, Abigail, Joey, and Abigail and Joey are teaming together to try to kill Frank. And long story short, I guess as well as I can do a long story short because I talked a lot, but Frank bites Joey, tries to make Joey his puppet, doesn't work. But she's bitten, so she is supposed to turn into a vampire, whatever. She doesn't do it right away like he did, but she's bitten. They kill Frank. Frank dies. And Abigail says, like, you're free now. Like, you're fine. Like, you're not going to turn into a vampire. You killed the vampire who turned you, so you're fine. Like, you're going to be okay. So why in the motherfuck, when Frank killed Lambert, was he still a vampire?
I don't know.
That's my plot hole. Now was it a plot hole that they just kind of overlooked, which is hard for me to believe because of how well they did dot their I's and cross their T's in this movie? Or are they setting this up as a sequel where maybe Joey's character is still going to turn into a vampire and it's going to go into wherever the directions they're going to take the movie with her being a vampire? Or is that what's going to happen?
I really don't know. I completely forgot about that.
I don't know.
It happened so quick.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was like that it was definitely like a short time of events, but I'm watching it and it didn't make sense to me. So I'm like, okay, like she's not going to turn into a vampire now because she killed the vampire that turned her. But Frank literally killed the vampire that turned him, and he was still a vampire. Like nothing happened to him. He was still a vampire. I don't understand.
Wait, do they say
like
that
I know it was
that's how it works?
What?
Do they say in the movie that that's how it works? That if you kill the vampire that turns you, you die? Or like
yeah, that's Abigail literally said that to Joey at the end because Joey was like, "Well, now what's gonna happen to me?" And she's like, "You're fine. Like you killed the vampire that turned you, so you'll be okay." Huh?
Okay.
So that's why I'm like,
What if
is
she's
that a plot
lying
hole?
to
Or are they
her?
setting up a sequel? That's what I'm saying. Could it be a sequel? They're setting up a sequel. Or she's gonna go home. She's gonna try to go home to her son, and she's gonna turn into a fucking vampire. I don't know. I don't know. But it could be.
I guess it opens it up to one.
It certainly does. That's what I'm saying. I just feel like it's not a plot hole because I just feel like they were so thorough in everything that they did, and like they had alternate endings for how they maybe wanted this to go, and they had like they were trying to figure out who they wanted to be the antagonist. Like throughout the movie, a bunch of things changed as they were trying to figure out where they wanted to go with it and how they wanted the movie to be. So I just feel like with how thorough that they were with everything, how did they miss that?
Yeah. That's. I see why that upsets you.
It does. And like I know I just gave like a long monologue trying to explain the ending really quick, but it just I don't understand. Like I think it almost has to be that they're trying to set up a sequel, but I don't know. I mean I'm they very well could be, and it very could well be that like maybe Joey's gonna have to go back and she's gonna have to kill Kristoff because obviously it all originates from Kristoff. He's the one that technically turned everybody. He turned Abigail. Abigail turned what's his name, Lambert, and then Lambert turned Frank. Frank turned Joey. So like, would you have to go all the way back to the beginning? I feel like if they're setting up a sequel, it's gonna have to be that Abigail's gonna have to go back
Lambert
and
Frank doesn't die or anything.
that's what I'm saying. But that's because Abigail turned Lambert. So is it going to go back to okay, Joey's still going to turn because she didn't technically kill the vampire that started it all. And the vampire that started it all would be Lazar.
I'm starting to feel like this is a plot hole.
See, that I don't know. Like I don't want it to be a plot hole because I just feel like they were so thorough and how do you miss that? Like I feel like that one's a very blatantly obvious one. I mean, maybe not. You didn't catch that. I don't know. I read some other things about it, but I don't know, man. I just feel like I hope it's not a plot hole. Like I hope they're trying to set up something else. But if it is a plot hole, like come on, Radio Silence. How did you miss that one?
Yeah, that feels fucky now.
I don't know. My brain's just going. I'm hoping that it was done purposely and that they're trying to set something up. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see if they announce like a sequel and like, when the trailer comes out. If we'll see. I'm gonna hang on to hope that they're just trying to set something up. They're just being silly goofy. That's all. They're just being silly goofy.
I don't believe him.
Well, I'm gonna hold on to that because if it's not a plot hole, I have no other plot holes other than that. So I'm hoping that I can say it's a perfectly done movie with no plot holes. So we'll see. We'll see. Just trying to see any other, I guess, trivia. The alternate ending that I kind of just briefly mentioned a little bit of, but they did film an alternate ending at the very end when Kristoff and Abigail allow Joey to leave because Joey helped save Abigail from Frank, and Abigail convinced her dad she was here for me when you weren't, she's let her leave, she can live. So they let her live, they let her go. She gets into the van and she just drives away. That's the ending that they went with. But in the alternate ending that they filmed, she calls her son when she gets in the van, and he answers. And she tells him, I'm coming home. And then she drives away. And I mean, it's not too much of a difference from what they actually went with, but I guess they felt like it wasn't necessarily needed because of the scene that they just had with the... They had a call previously where she called her son before she was trying to escape Frank. So with that, and then also with Kristoff coming home to see Abigail, with that aspect of it, they felt like it would have been too much to have her also speak to her son. I guess you get out of this emotional moment between Kristoff and Abigail, and then you go into it just would have been too much. I guess is what they concluded, and I guess I kind of agree with them. I feel like the ending that they went with, where she just where she gets in the van and she just composes herself for a second and then just just goes and drives away. Like, we obviously know where she's going. She said she's gonna go see her son. So like, there's not really much to imagine, I suppose. Like, you kind of know the route of where she's going. So I appreciated the ending that they did have, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But and I do want to bring this as well in terms of that alternate ending that they filmed. There's an interview with Melissa Barrera where they ask her kind of about that, and she's kind of explaining the alternate ending, and she made the comment, "We don't know what's gonna happen. Is she gonna go home? Did Abigail tell the truth that she's going to turn into a vampire? Who knows?" So, back to the plot hole. I feel like she knows. I feel like she knows where this is going, and I feel like based on that comment, I think she's gonna turn into a fucking vampire.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably gonna be what happens in the end.
I hope that's where it's going. Like I said, I feel like in order for you to break that curse, like, you have to kill the vampire that started it, and that would be Christophe Lazar. She's gonna have to go back and kill Lazar, and Abigail's probably gonna fight her again and be like, "You can't kill my dad. Like, I know he don't love me, but what the fuck? You can't kill my dad." So I just feel like that's the route that it's gonna go. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
As for survival advice, before we get into the segment with the reviews, but survival advice, do you have any, sir?
I never have nor never will trust a ballerina.
There you go. It's funny it's funny you say that, because the writer of the movie, Stephen Shields, he chose to make Abigail a ballerina just because he's terrified of them.
Oh my god, I love him.
I have a quote here. He says, in an interview, he says, "I'm terrified of ballerinas. I always have been. I just think anyone that can stand on their tiptoe and do stuff like that is, they're a little bit of a different kind of type of creature. But I always envisioned this movie to have a vampire who was a ballerina covered in blood. I think it's going to make a really awesome Halloween costume this year as well." He's right.
Yeah, he's great. I love him. That's a great quote.
So you and him have something in common.
Hell yeah.
That's too funny that you said that. Yeah, no, for me, survival advice, the only ones that I had, let's see. Okay. I said don't underestimate a child vampire, because I feel like they thought because she's little that,
broaden that up. Don't underestimate a child. Children are terrifying.
Yeah, no, that too, you're not wrong. So just don't underestimate children, period. And then also, keep your pinky promises, people. Just keep your pinky promises. Joey survived because she kept her pinky promise when she told Abigail that she wouldn't allow anybody to hurt her. And then look at that. She helped Abigail survive, and Abigail allowed her to live. So just remember that. Keep your pinky promises.
You didn't keep a pinky promise.
When? What pinky promise?
Pinky promise we'd kiss during Pride Month 2024.
I have no pinkies. I have no pinkies. They're not on my hands. I have no pinkies. Only 4 fingers on each hand. So you're lying. No.
I don't believe you. I think you're lying.
Well, I can't pinky promise you because they're gone. So.
By the way, this whole entire fucking time I've been torturing a wasp that tried to sting me.
Okay. All right. Well,
he fucking landed on me and tried fucking me up, and now he's just fucking dead.
Now he's dead. Well, good for you.
Fuck that wasp.
I guess we can get into the fan reviews that I have now. Unless is there any other scenery or anything else that you want to bring up about the movie that you liked, disliked, anything before we get into that?
No, feel free to do reviews.
All right. So, guess I'll start with I have one positive and I have 3 negatives. I only have one positive because I feel like we both gave it a good review, so I have one other good review, and then I have 3 bad reviews that I just want to touch on, and we'll talk about them. But first 5-star review, and I'm just going to read the direct quote. But this person says, "There is nothing in this film that you haven't seen in a number of other films, but it manages, thankfully, to deliver. It doesn't, for my money, have as much humor as Ready or Not, but does have enough character backstory for the audience to know who to support and who to scorn and who to emotionally commit to. As much as you can in a horror flick, anyway. You know what is going to happen once the basic premise is exposed, and it's fun finding out how and when and watching the whole thing play out. At the center of it all is Abigail, played expertly and delightfully by Alicia Ware. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, sorry. Who exploits this platform to showcase her undoubted talent. She is ably supported by the cast to realize this competent effort and make viewing a time well spent. I believe the film is best watched without prior exposure to the trailer, hard as that is these days, and have also not revealed any content here in that spirit. Enjoyed the film." So, that was one thing that I also said too. I feel like if you really go into this with no prior knowledge, you haven't watched the trailers, you don't really know kind of the direction it's going to go, you're going to love it. I liked it either way, but I really would have appreciated going into it not knowing what I knew because I guessed it right away. So, there's that. But again, they were also complimenting Abigail's performance in this movie because she did do great. And also, did you know that the actress Alicia here was in the new Matilda musical that they did for Netflix?
I didn't, and that frightens me.
Yeah, I think that was the first movie that she did. She's a very new actress. She played Matilda in the new Matilda musical that they just had on Netflix. I actually did watch it. It wasn't too bad. She played the main role in that, and now she's in this. So I'm hoping that she's gonna go more horror movie route. I would love that. She did a fucking fantastic job. So I'd love to see her as the new up and coming, almost like Jenna Ortega, almost like the new. Moving into that role, because I feel like Jenna also kills it in the horror movies that she does. So
that is very true.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna go into the 3 1-star or very low reviews that we got. All right, and we can shit talk them because some of them are a little funny. Okay, this person says, "I'm only giving it 1 star because I have no lower options. I went to see Abigail because it had an 85% score on Rotten Tomatoes from both critics and the audience. So I said, okay. It was one of the absolute worst movie-going experiences ever. From the second it started to the second when it mercifully ended, I was unentertained, bored, and uncomfortable. The acting was horrendous. The plot was stupid. The funny parts were absolutely not, and it was unnecessarily gory and gruesome. Decades from now, when I'm close to death and reflecting on my life, I will look back on today and beg God to give me those 6 years of my life back. Really, it was 2 hours, I guess. I can't believe I spent $10 on that movie ticket. I could have bought a homeless person food or a warm blanket. I could have bought strawberries or Oreos. I could have bought toilet paper. So all this to say, do not go see Abigail. Do better than me. I will forever feel betrayed by Rotten Tomatoes." End quote.
How much lack of fucking joy in your life do you have to write that? Genuinely, how do you not find a single fucking redeemable quality in that entire experience that you had? That says more about you as a person than it does as the movie.
Yeah, not one. They hated everything about it from the moment it started to the moment it ended.
Yeah, that person just fucking miserable.
Yeah, no. What got me was the acting was horrendous. You fucking bitch liar.
It's just wrong. It's just certifiably wrong.
Even if you think the other cast members didn't hold up to par, whatever, you're wrong. But to say that all of the acting when fucking Alicia killed this role as Abigail, you're wrong, you're stupid, and you're probably ugly. So.
Yeah, I can picture exactly who wrote that, and it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, and then they also said about how the funny parts were absolutely not funny. Now I know you're lying.
I mean, yeah,
because I was cracking up.
There's stupid humor in there, but that's perfect. It's just, it fits. I don't know what.
Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but if you're listening to this, I doubt you are. But if you ever listen to this podcast episode and you hear us talking about your review, you suck. Stop watching movies.
Honestly, yeah. Even in bad movies, there's fucking redeemable qualities. You're just a miserable fucking human being.
Period. All right, second one. All right, and quote, "This movie was terrible. The cast was awful, except maybe the little girl who played Abigail and Joey. How the heck did Angus Cloud even get cast? The way he talked like a brain-dead gangster was cringy and unbearable. Lame one-liners and not a very riveting storyline. Kevin Durant's lines. Charges a heavy, locked, duty metal gated door. It's locked. Gets shot. Getting shot hurts. Man, that's some award-winning dialogue. Me and my boys at least had fun making fun of the movie the entire time. Who chose this cast? Total flop." End quote.
See, but at least they have joy in their life. And that's all that matters. Go ahead. You can have that opinion, but at least you found a way to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Making fun of the other boys, so.
Fuck that other guy.
But I thought the lame one-liners were funny though. Like when he charges the gate and then he looks back, he can't get through it. He looks back and he's like, "It's locked." Like, yeah, no shit, buddy. But it was still funny. I don't know. Like it was still funny.
I think fucking. It seems like their writing is like geared towards fucking stupid horror nerds and stuff. They know like that sense of humor and they're gonna fucking stick with it, because all throughout horror there's always been stupid fucking one-liners and shit, and they just like go the satirical route of it.
Yeah, like, I appreciate them, so.
Yeah, I do too.
Alright, and then I have our third and last bad comment, which this one almost goes, it could be positive, but we'll go, it's a negative. They said, "I'll admit this movie was well directed and has a good storyline and has great acting for just a no-brainer film for entertainment purposes, but there's something not right about this film, which is why I thumbs down. I watched it, and even given this review, I'm starting to feel nauseous. There's something not right about this movie. I don't know if this is because it casts a little girl as a demon, or if this little girl, I just don't know. I'll just leave it at that." End quote.
That seems like a paranoid schizophrenic.
I read this one and I was just like, okay, like you make me want to watch the movie more.
So, the first one, you're a miserable person. The second one, keep doing what you're doing, man. Thumbs up from me. Number 3, you need to seek psychiatric help. There is something wrong with you.
There's just something not right. There's something not right about this movie. I'm feeling nauseous while I'm writing this.
The pit of bodies made me feel nauseous, but that was it. It feels like a fucking apt fucking reaction to that.
Yeah. No, that's true. That would be the only one for me as well. Just that was a little like nasty, but it's just that one just made me laugh because it was like it's supposed to be almost like a negative, like don't watch this movie. There's something wrong with it, but it would make me want to watch the movie. Like, you know?
Oh yeah, that's like the fucking horror's thing. It's like, this is the scariest thing you'll ever see. You will cry. Okay, fucking sign me up. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Right? Like, try it, bitch. Alright. That is the last of my fan reviews here. And I think that's all of my trivia and everything else as well. So, is there anything else that you'd like to include?
No. I did a little hand movement to do with it, and you can't see it. I apologize. I don't know why I did that.
Is it because it's Pride Month?
It's not. It's not because of Pride Month. I don't say no to Pride Month. I say yes.
That's fair. Each of my feelings. Let me see. Yeah, no, I think that's it then. I think that's it for me. That's it for you. Next week or next episode, I shouldn't say next week because I don't know when we'll record it and when we'll release. But next episode that we have on deck is a movie Adam picked, The Late Night with the Devil.
Hell yeah.
So,
I love that one. That's good too.
stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I have not yet watched it, but as soon as I do, we will record an episode thereafter, and that will be what's on deck for you. We also, for anybody who's still listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And we want to announce that we are also going to start adding in some regular movies to the roster as well. So this whole time that we've been the Deadlight Society, we have been strictly horror. We've included some like kids horror stuff as well, but like we've been mainly on the road of horror content. And while I think most of the movies that I pick will probably still be horror for a while because there's still a lot more that I want to watch that I want to talk about, but we're gonna start throwing in some non-horror movies. So stay tuned for that. We don't know the first one yet, but
love movies.
yes, we do. We
Yeah,
love movies. We love to talk about movies.
That's the thing, like, after a while of, like, deep diving into horror and, like, talking about all this shit and info, like, you start to realize you still have these cool behind-the-scenes things of, like, all movies, and, like, what's the point of, like, sticking to one genre when there's so much more of the, like, world of movies that you can actually explore?
Yeah. So, we do have that in our future. I know we don't release episodes or content as frequently anymore, and we apologize for that. We're just busy, have lives, trying to, navigate through this shitty fucking world.
Family deaths.
So
that was another big one for a while.
yeah, yeah, like we got a lot of stuff going on. We're trying to navigate as best as we can. So just bear with us. We do thank you if you're still listening, and if you've been listening to us from the beginning. If you do anticipate, when we release episodes, we do really appreciate you guys for being here with us and listening to us talk. And,
You the OGs.
Yeah, you the OGs. So we'll see you guys shortly with Late Night with the Devil, and until then, stay spooky.